Good morning, and I'm actually rearranging the schedule a little bit now. I'm actually going to be doing a core day today because for whatever reason, even though I went to bed earlier last night, my body said you're still not waking up until around 10 o'clock. Or it's 11 now, but I woke up around like 10, which is actually obnoxious because after I finished recording the video last night, I literally went to bed, planned to be up at around 8 o'clock, getting ready, be at the gym at 9, getting everything recorded, and getting everything done. But because my body said you're sleeping in later than you normally should, my entire day is now screwed up. So it's going to be a core day at the fitness center again. Hopefully my body will adjust tomorrow and I can have a solid back day at my actual gym. So let's drink the pre-workout. Let's get to the fitness center, work out, stretch a little bit, go to work, come home, and then call it a night. I'll see you guys at the fitness center. Pew.
Doesn't it just suck when you make plans to be up at a proper hour of the morning and then your body says, nah, that ain't happening. We're going to stay asleep until God knows when? Yeah, it's a bit of a doozy, especially when you have things you pre-planned out in your head, but your body says you need to recover a little bit more, or it just thinks you need more rest, or I don't know, it was just too lazy to actually get up, whatever it may be. So then you miss out on your plans for the day. And as you could see, I was obviously very annoyed by that because I wanted to get to the gym. I wanted to train chest. But you know what? This core workout was actually very useful. My core felt tighter after doing it. And even a couple days later after I recorded this video, I could see my abs being much more defined than they were before. So maybe this was a blessing in disguise, or I was just being lazy. Who knows? But anyway, when it comes to being on time and things like that, I don't like just being on time. I like being early. I like being at least 10 minutes early to everything. So that way I know I'm not going to miss out on any pivotal thing that might even be said before anything even starts. Like that's why I like getting to the movies early, so that way I don't miss any cool trailers should any appear. That's why I like getting to the gym early, so that way I can get some cardio in before I have to wrap it up as quickly as possible and then get ready for work. Kind of like that one phrase I always heard growing up, you're not on time unless you're 10 minutes early, or something along those lines. And that's kind of what I like to do. I like being at minimum 10 minutes early, even 15 minutes early. Now, obviously, there's some overkill. Like, you don't need to be like 2 to 3 hours early. But making sure that you're there before being on time is what I prefer to be. Now, sometimes that just doesn't happen. And you can see it on my face if I'm running late for something. I'm clearly unhappy. I'm stressed out, unfocused, and it's like a distraction for me if I'm not at least 5 minutes early to whatever I'm supposed to be at, because like I said, I don't want to miss anything. Of course, I don't stress out about this all the time. There are some days where I'm just like, you know what, as long as I make it when it's supposed to begin, that's when I'm fine. But just making sure to get there before everything starts is pivotal for progress, I believe. It also builds character, in my opinion. And what's more important than building character? Well, building muscles, obviously. But I just don't like feeling like I'm missing out. I don't like feeling as if time is being wasted. And I know some people might think, well, if you're getting there too early, you're wasting time. It's like, no, not if it's just something important. Like for an audition, if you show up late for an audition, like even a minute, if it's in person, you're going to get probably just kicked out. You're not going to get a second chance at that. And you don't, because you don't want to have any moments where you're leaving a bad taste in a casting director's or an agent's mouth, mind you. As soon as you start doing that, you can become known as like, oh, this guy doesn't get anything done on time. This guy doesn't take it seriously. So if you don't just get things done on time, but you get things done early, that sets a good standard. And once that standard is set, you can't break that standard either, because it's kind of building your brand. It's the brand of not only do they get things done on time, they get things done early and are responsible about it. It's all about building your brand. And I want my part of my brand to be I get things done when they're needed, and not just when they're needed. I get them done before the deadline, because if someone else gets it done before you do, they might say, "Oh, we already found this person." And then you just lost your spot. And that sucks, because you said, "Oh, well, I have this deadline, it's due here. I'll get it done by then." No, get it done before anyone else does, so you never miss your shot. And I am back from the fitness center eating my post workout apple before I start getting ready for work. And I'm going to also have a couple of eggs, just so that way my hunger is subsided and I don't have to worry about trying to snack on anything in their stupid vending machines that they have at work. But very solid ab workout, I think. Obviously, there's not too much equipment, so it's a lot of crunching motions, rotating motions, and then some planks at the end. And like I said yesterday, the one thing I'm going to be thinking about a lot is my potential move to another state, whether it be New York for a year or LA for a year. Just a place where I can start learning and growing, because like I said, my 2-year plan, not going to say exactly what it is, but if I really want to take this acting stuff seriously, it's probably not going to happen here. Little bits can happen here, obviously, but as a career, my friend Matt has been a huge inspiration for me. Seeing him go out there, he's putting in work, he's putting in that hustle, God bless him. And that's been inspiring for me. Sort of like how Sam Sulek has been inspiring me to do this bodybuilding competition, how Timothy Chalamet has been inspiring me to be one of the greats in acting. Matt is also inspiring me to take a risk. When that's going to happen, I don't know just yet. Like I said, it is a lot of thinking about doing it, how I'm going to do it, where and when. But I know at some point I'm going to have to make that sacrifice, that huge risk, in order to get it done. It's not going to be easy. It's probably not going to be very fun, but if you want results, you got to take a leap of faith. Am I right? Anyway, I got to finish this apple. I got to get dressed for my work clothes, and head out to my job for the day. Hopefully get a lot of steps in. Hopefully get a lot of time on the forklift, which probably not. I'm probably going to be working with my one coworker who's going to be working on the lift, and I'm going to be monitoring him, making sure that no one gets hurt in the process. But that's a lot of walking around, and that means more steps for me, more calories burned, so I'm not complaining too much about that. Anyways, I'll see you guys at the end of the day. Peace. Home from work, obviously. It's past midnight now, and it's time to call it a night. Work was pretty action-packed. Had to help other people today, which is fine. I don't mind doing that. But then that made me double up on the stuff that I had to get done. But I don't mind helping people out. It's no big deal. Anyway, what were my thoughts of the day? Not really much to talk about, if I'm going to be honest. No, that's not really exciting, but I don't know. I was just doing more acting studying today than anything else, so I really wasn't too focused on overall thoughts. It was just a lot of studying about how to get an agent, what you should do during an audition, very basic stuff. It's like the one I'm reading now. I'm reading a book called, I forget what it's called off the top of my head, but it's supposed to be like how to really impress casting directors off the bat, so that way you're not like, you're number one in their view, not number 5 or 6 or even number 2. It said rule number 1 is to bring jerky to every audition. Bring her to every audition. Bring her to every audition. Bring her to every audition. She's a sweetie. But anyway.
and one thing you have to keep in mind is that when you are auditioning, especially if it's an in-person one and there's other people in the room with you, you have to not let them mess with your head, because they'll do it subtly and you're not even going to realize it. And that's a big takeaway I took from that. Is they say, kind of loosely, the way they describe it is, don't take advice from anyone you're auditioning with, and don't give advice, because at that moment, sure, you can be friends outside of that, but in those moments you are in competition with each other. Don't be rude, don't be mean, don't be nasty, obviously, but always be aware that they're there to get work, and so are you. So make sure you are not losing that potential for a role because you're trying to either be nice to someone, or you think someone's trying to be nice to you, because odds are they might be trying to mess you up. Now, similar to what Arnold Schwarzenegger said in Pumping Iron, he was talking about really playing mental games with his opponents. And now, you shouldn't see other actors as opponents necessarily. You should see them as people who are trying to get the role you want. They're not necessarily your enemies, but you are in competition with someone else, and you have to treat it that way. Unfortunately, and not everyone can get that role, as chaotic as it might be. Jirki's playing with her toy right now. It's really cute, actually. I was unpacking one of my boxes and I found this one toy and I threw it out for her to play. And she's having a lot of fun with it, and that's what I like. So, when it comes to auditioning, always be on the bounce. Always be paying attention. Make sure you're not getting distracted by other actors. A lot of auditions are now online, so that's not even too much of a stress. But you still have to be on the wares of, if you ever are in person or you're in like a group chat audition, because that can sometimes happen, and those are really weird, I'm not going to lie. But in-person auditions, if you're with someone, you can be friendly with them, obviously, but don't let them get into your head, because they absolutely will try to. You're there to win. Remember that. And that's something, and I think that's part of the reason why I like this career a lot, is because it is a competitive career, and I love me some competition. Anyways, guys, I have to call a night. I gotta get to sleep. I gotta be up early tomorrow. Hopefully I won't oversleep again. I'll catch you guys later. Peace and good night. I don't know if this is gonna be a recurring gimmick, but I'm doing it again.